because I have fallen prey to this. When the AI revolution talk was hitting momentum, like I was really getting on board with this stuff and just being like, yeah, it's kind of the technology that like people like us, like revolutionaries, anti-capitalists, have been looking for a long time. Like I think a lot of Marx's work is based around this idea that like the means of production have reached a certain point where we can actually provide for everyone. We live in complex industrial societies now, and we have technology that can fix the problems of scarcity, and like we can kind of manage society based on our understanding of science and our use of technology. We can use that to move beyond a system where we need private property and profits in order to mobilize society. And so like I was really on board with the idea of the singularity, the introduction of AGI and super intelligent AI. If you can develop machine learning to a certain extent, it's going to solve all of our human problems, like how to organize ourselves. So i.e., what's the best form of social organization for an advanced industrial economy? If you could just feed AI enough data on everything that everybody does all the time, because we're increasingly going digital, then you can plan an economy. Like the idea of planning an economy was absurd from a 20th century perspective, because no one human or group of humans ever had the capacity to actually plan. And that's why, like, you know, free marketeers, capitalist apologists, and anyone who was critical of communism of the 20th century was just like, the free market reigns supreme. And so like you leave it up to the invisible hand of the market, and private interests always prevail. And they were right to a certain extent, and they criticized communism based on a reflection on 20th century economic planning. And they're like, oh, look at the famines, look at the wasted resources, look at the lies that people used to say to meet their quotas. Planning an economy just doesn't work. For a long time, people have held that argument, but like all of that goes out the window now with AI. And so I've been incredibly positive in my outlook of what AI means for the human race and what it means for us as revolutionaries. But like, you have to acknowledge, this is a massive hype train. It is being disseminated by the tech bros because they control it. I think we need to take it with a grain of salt when we hear constantly being told by the Sam Altmans of the world and the Elon Musks of the world that AI is coming to save us all. And like, you know, just put our faith in them. But like, I'm worried about the hype that they produce. They just want extra money, all the regulation to be cut so they can do whatever they want. But my big critique of all of this, I do believe in the hype of the AI revolution and its potentiality, but definitely not in the hands of people that only have it in order to profit from it and to control the human race. Those people owning this very powerful form of means of production is just not something that I think is tenable. And I don't think it's something that we should be supportive of. I think there is a fine line between letting them develop that technology and then allowing them to run away with it. And so I think to be a revolutionary in the 21st century really does come down to this idea of seizing the means of production of these people. It becomes more and more about that. And it's going to become more and more about propaganda of the deed. And Dr. Nathan said, see, I don't get that. Like, I understand that it solves a lot of problems, but I grew up reading Dune. If you get into it to the point of the God Emperor of Dune, he goes over a lot of the ways that the sentient robotic revolution led to the second dark age of humanity, where humans forget how to do anything for themselves and a few people who control the robots take over until the robots overthrow them. And like, you know, that is a trajectory. I think that is an apt criticism to have of this stuff. But like, here is the great unknown for me, and this is in true socialist critique. We don't know what it's going to be like when the people that work the means of production actually control the means of production. If you want to turbocharge technological development at the hands of people that only want to use that to maintain their power and to seek profit off it, you can turbocharge things in the wrong direction. And you can turbocharge them in a way that is uncontrollable, unpredictable, and unexplainable. And those are three massive concepts in the AI revolution right now, which people are ignoring. It's like that because the people that are developing the technology are not spending the time investing in trying to explain it trying to make it more predictable. But there are many software engineers out there that want to spend their time doing this shit, but they're at a company and they're working for somebody else because they need to, because we live in a wage work system. They are being instructed as to like what they should be working on, and like there's a lot of them that have these moral dilemmas, and so like they're selling their labor power as opposed to just developing the means of production as people that have a say in it. And so like I think if we seized this technology and didn't nationalize it, so not in the 20th century style and just been like, give it to the central party, that's just state capitalism. But like if the workers, the people that are developing the AI are also worried about its capabilities, developed it in a much more controlled fashion, you would have a different outcome. And so like if you had people that controlled the means of production and like were invested in it, they were able to have a say in it, they would maybe even change the direction of where it's going. Maybe they wouldn't use it to eradicate all human skill. Maybe they wouldn't use it to take over food production, but they would use it to complement food production. Maybe they wouldn't use it to eradicate every job out there. Maybe they would use it to complement many of the jobs out there so humans retain some skills. But like, you could use AI and develop it to serve humanity, or you could use it to develop it into this entity that is going to supersede humanity itself. And then we get to make a decision later, or we get to watch as it makes a decision later as whether it needs humanity anymore and abandons us, or even worse, wipes us all off the face of the planet. And like, is that the risk that you want to take? You want to just develop something at breakneck speed and like hope that it is paternalistic and wants to protect humanity. But like, why take the risk on all of that? And I think if it was controlled by the people that were developing it, not just the ultra wealthy who have the means to pump money into it, you would have people with a lot more ethical goals around the development of this type of technology. Okay, maybe it might be slower, but like you've painted the picture there in Dr. Nathan, it might be something that is more conducive to what the human race actually needs. And so like if we are making complex digital architecture that has the ability to change the human race significantly and like launch us into a new level of industrial society, and we don't really know how it works or what it's capable of, that's some scary shit. And like I think that's where you get your Dune type of narratives from, where people kind of let go of any responsibility over this stuff and just develop it for the sake of it, like it's going to be some tool of salvation. I think it is problematic to look at this stuff like it's going to do something and turn around and fix all of our problems. No, we humans fix our own problems and we use tools to make that job easier. And I think it is important for us to remember, and this is why I keep on going back to this idea of seizing the means. We need to treat this as what it is. Not an entity unto itself, not a genie that needs to be unleashed from the bottle and we just hope for the best. We need to curate it, we need to define it, and we need to be able to control it as a species. At least as a group of people who develop the technology, we need to use it for our own end, not be used by it. That is a massive distinction.
Remember, I am, you are, we are a mystery. I am on Patreon. Please follow the link in the description and sign up for free. We are trying to build a revolutionary community over there. So go, become a member for free and join the conversation. If you can contribute financially, that would help a lot.